Hi folks, it's Friday of Holy Week, or Good Friday as we refer to it. Now I must confess, usually when I'm doing reflections or even just thinking about Easter, towards the end of the week it begins to have an impact on me, and by Thursday and Friday it's quite emotional because preparing for it I'm drawn into the story, and I hope you are in some way drawn into this amazing story at Easter. Friday, we call it Good Friday, which seems incongruous. What was good about it? Crucifixion was a terrible thing. And what Jesus went through was awful. What possibly could be good about it? Now, it's often said at the heart of the Christian gospel is a mystery. Now, it was Gabriel Marcel, a French philosopher, who once said that those who would reduce a mystery to an intellectual problem to be solved have missed what it's about. A mystery is not a problem that we can solve. A mystery draws us into it, and we can grasp little bits of it, but it will always remain bigger than ourselves. And that's a great description of the Christian gospel. We can be drawn into it, and we seek understanding, but it's always bigger than our grasp of it at any given time. So let me read some verses from Mark's Gospel, and I'm keeping it short here because there's so much in this passage. It was the third hour when they crucified him. The written notice of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." They crucified two robbers with him, one on the right, one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, "So, you who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, come down from the cross and save yourself." In the same way, the chief priests and the teachers of the law mocked him. "He saved others," they said, "but he can't save himself. Let this Christ, this King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe." With a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last. The curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and when the centurion who stood there in front of Jesus heard his cry and saw how he died, he said, "Surely this man was the Son of God." What's the cross about? It's weird, isn't it? That the God of the universe embodies himself in a human being to reveal himself in a powerful way to us. Rather than send prophets along who point the way, he sends someone who says, "I am the way." And then the cross. So what's going on? Well, there's so many ways we could approach this. Let me keep this simple. In 1 Corinthians 13, and can I ask you to look that up sometime? Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 13, there's that great exposition of love. It finishes, 3 things abide, faith, hope and love, and the greatest of them all is love. Do we believe that? It's marvellous to think so, and we're attracted to that. As we read Paul's words, we go, yeah, that's right. And yet everything in the world seems to, not everything, so much in the world and in history seems to contradict that. Look at what's happening in Ukraine just now. Evil and violence and hell. I was watching a series the other night. It's called The Last Kingdom on the television, and of course it's about the Saxons and the Danes at the time of King Alfred, and of course it's very violent because it was a very violent age. And the Danes, the Vikings, the Saxons, they were all into being the strong man, and that's happened all throughout history. And in the Roman world, there was lots of violence, and the Romans could be brutal. And everybody wanted heroes. And here in the objections, not the objections, the mocking of Jesus. Come on then, if you're the Christ, come down off the cross. Show us something, do something powerful and miraculous. If you're the Christ, you shouldn't be up there. But Jesus wasn't another of the world's heroes. He wasn't Alexander. Alexander, who died at the same age as Jesus and conquered what they called the known world, which was ridiculous. It was a small area, but in ancient terms large, all the way to the Indus. But when he died, his kingdom collapsed. His kingdom was established by the power of the sword. And now he's just a mention in history. All the great strong men, they come and they go, cause carnage while they're here. Putin will go as well. But Jesus, his name is universal. And yet there was the cross. How do we work that out? Well, of course, it's because Easter also has the resurrection. So why the cross? Well, the most numerous command in Scripture is, do not be afraid, for I am with you. We're not to be afraid. God is with us. Is God with us even in the darkest time? Well, when we read the account of the crucifixion, we have to say, yes. Yes, he was with us. He is with us, because that's what the cross says. And when the centurion said he saw how Jesus died, he said, truly this man was the Son of God. Well, the phrase Son of God can be interpreted three ways. Firstly, if God's the creator of all people, we're all children of God. So we're all sons and daughters of God. But secondly, it can be someone like a Christ-like figure, a Messiah-type figure, a special status that God uses. Or it can be the way Christians see Jesus. He was the embodiment of God coming to us to reveal himself to us and to redeem us. And if at the heart of the universe is love, as Paul says in Corinthians, then what we see in the cross is that love in action. Jesus doesn't come with a big stick. He doesn't come with a sword. He doesn't sort the world out, kill all the bad people and rescue the good people, because good and bad is across every single human heart. Some of us are more good than bad. Some of us are more bad than good. But we all share the human condition. So we're all in this together. And the cross is God's appeal to us to realise who and what we are, and who and what he is. At the centre of the universe is love. God is for us. God is with us. And the cross, in its brutality, testifies to the human condition. We're capable of being angels, but we're also apes. We can be incredibly violent. And in the midst of that, God enters into the darkness and reveals the light. He enters into hate and violence, and he shows love. And the cross is that eternal symbol that God has done something special in Jesus for you, for me, and for the world. Three things abide: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of them all is love. That's why we call this Good Friday. God be with you. See you tomorrow.